they're secretly recording a criminal operation targeting Canadians. These scammers in India don't know it, but we're on to them.
All these activities are going on in the background of your computer.
Over 50 fraudsters in this one call center taking control of our computers.
I'm looking to use my notes that is firewall is not on, right?
And using scare tactics to demand payment for a computer fix you likely don't need.
I want you to apologize. What is the reason you are abusing? I will be calling you again and again.
It's called the tech support scam.
This is Brian calling you from Tech Center.
From cold calls to fake pop-ups warning you've got a virus.
When did you last time use your computer?
Different tactics, same scam. How much money was stolen from you?
$3,000.
$3,000. So how did Nahid Philippos fall for that scam? Her cell phone stops working, so she Googles for help and finds a number she thinks is legit.
When the guy answered, he said, "This is Apple, what can we do for you?" And I said my problem was maybe the phone is not like there is something wrong on it. He said, "Oh, sure, this is very common."
The scammer convinces her to go to a nearby store and buy a $50 iTunes gift card to pay for the quick fix. But once she does,
he went onto the phone and he said there are many problems on the phone. There are hackers from Russia, from India, from Brazil.
he said all that about your phone.
Yeah. He said it's a complicated issue. We need to work on this phone. It has to be minimum $3,000 to be able to do the transaction.
$3,000 to fix her phone? But the scammer promises a quick refund. When it doesn't happen, Nahid calls back.
I said, "Where's my money? Where's my money? Are you the scammers? Are you thieves?" He then hung up the phone. Then I tried again like 10 times, 12 times. Nobody wanted to answer.
She's not alone. In 2018, the tech support scam cost Canadians nearly $1 million.
They're trying to make themselves look very legitimate.
Former police officer Ryan Duquette says he's not surprised.
We've had situations where, different ID has been taken out on people and fake driver's license and whatnot, going all the way up to, your house being sold.
What?
Without you knowing. Yeah, absolutely.
Your house being sold?
Yes, yeah. We've had situations where a for sale sign has been posted on somebody's front yard without their knowledge of that even happening. So they've been able to steal their identity, take a mortgage out in their name and whatnot. So it can be pretty scary when your identity gets stolen.
Once they have control of your computer, is it game over?
Once they're in there, you don't know if they've installed a backdoor or some malicious code into your system.
So there is a risk here of losing more than just the money they're asking for. There's a risk of losing stuff that is even more important.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
With the stakes so high, it's time to get inside an active scam center. It takes months carefully tracing the operations targeting Canadians. And then, a breakthrough. We find an employee willing to go in with a hidden camera.
That is the reason I'm calling you, sir. I do know you are too old and you are not a savvy of a computer. That is the reason I'm calling you. Two people are connected to your computer and your network without your authorization.
None of it is true. This is where the sales pitch meets scare tactics.
Yes, you are okay, but your identity is not okay right now. Your identity is getting compromised by two unauthorized people. So have you allowed anyone to use your identity without your authorization? I just want you to be next to your computer and I will let you know how to block those unauthorized people from your computer. Don't worry, we will be helping you, okay?
This scam goes beyond those fake pop-ups. These criminals have infiltrated internet search. Look for help online with your phone or computer. Turns out many of the top sites you see could actually be a scammer.
This is support from Microsoft. How can I help you?
So our producer, Nalisha, calls one of them up.
Hi, I'm having some issues with my computer and I'm really hoping you can help me.
Within minutes, the scammer says he needs remote access.
I need to connect to your computer. Will that fine?
He directs us to download software to help him diagnose the problem. In reality, that software gives him complete access to everything on your computer: photos, banking, even medical files.
What happens next?
So right now I'm connected to your machine.
In just seconds, he's connected and we're locked out.
So first of all, I will suggest you have to update your machine right now because some of your Microsoft services is not working.
That's not true, and we know it. This computer has just been cleaned.
So there is a one-time installation fee for that.
How much is the installation fee?
It will cost you around $249.99.
But just a few moments later, the price has gone up.
Yeah, so the $299 is a one-time installation fee, ma'am. It's in US dollar, okay?
Before the price goes up again, it's time to reveal who we really are.
So how you will send the invoice to you?
Well, you're not going to send an invoice to us because we're actually journalists in Canada. We know this is a scam. And I'd just like to ask you why you do this, why you're scamming people, vulnerable people, out of their money.
You called us, told me there is a virus in the machine. I'm just cleaning out the virus.
No, you're not. No, you're not doing anything to this machine. We know this is a scam. We know you're a scammer. Why do you do this?
Well, if you want something for your machine, you have to pay for that. Nothing is free, right?
No, nothing's free. And so I would ask you, why do you think you should be able to steal people's money for basically nothing?
I am not stealing that. She has to pay with her own credit card.
Yeah.
I did not steal her credit card in too much calls. Okay? Don't waste my time.
Okay, you think I'm wasting your time, and he's gone.
He doesn't want to talk about his crime. But that's not stopping us. We're going to try to find scam centers like his.
Our investigations led us here to India's capital, home to hundreds of call centers in buildings like this, employing thousands of workers for some of the biggest tech firms in the entire world. But the big money, it's not being made here. That's just down the road in fraudulent call centers. How long did you work in the tech support scam?
More than 3 years.
Puneet Malik used to scam Canadians.
I used to make almost $3,000 sale every day. That basically means I used to take out $3,000 from Canadian and United States nationals' pockets every day.
He says he worked in this building just outside New Delhi.
My pitch used to start with $200. So that basically means at least they will be giving $200 if they want the computer back. And it's not their fault. It's not a virus.
You're lying to them.
Absolutely.
You're just trying to scare them.
Yeah, it's literally, you use a really great word. It's a scare tactic. You will tell the customer that if you don't pay us the money, you will be losing your computer. Other than that, all your financial details, your social security number, that has been stolen already. So if you want your information to be safe and secure, you have to pay us.
He tells us this scam is much bigger than the one company he worked at. Once the tech scammers have your personal information, they can sell it on to other scam centers.
So you mean if someone falls victim to the tech support scam, that's just the entry level? Then they're going to be in the queue for the next scams, the tax scam. Keep going and keep going and keep going.
Absolutely. It's a chain reaction. Once you are into this, once you are trapped, your information is out and open, and that in a whole different country.
One big criminal operation with connections in multiple cities, selling your data for pennies.
They are selling the data, tech support sales data, and you have inbound leads. That basically means the people who actually called in. This is known as a gold mine of data.
So these have been past victims who you're going to try to victimize again.
This is what it is all about. And you will be amazed. In less than $1, they are selling.
What's more, Puneet confirms scammers have infiltrated search engines, so their sites show up at the top of the queue.
You enter Microsoft Support Canada because you're looking for help on your computer. So you click over here, the first thing
The very first listing, yeah. Scam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Many ways to scam, and many centers too. Now that we know how it works, it's time to confront the scammers face to face. Confronting the scammers on your marketplace. We're on the trail of an insidious racket, the tech support scam, stealing millions from Canadian victims run by Indian crime syndicates in dozens of call centers. In Mumbai, our hidden camera reveals dozens of workers on the phones using scare tactics to convince Canadians into paying up.
Deducts any money from you. Do whatever you want to do. So you can report me to the Donald Trump as well, because we are not afraid of that, okay? We are not doing any illegal business over the phone.
But when some Canadians don't fall for it, the callers get even more aggressive.
I want you to apologize. I want you to apologize. I want you to apologize. What is the reason you are abusing? No, I want you to. I will be calling you again and again.
This operation's been scamming Canadians for over a year.
Now I will remove your IP address. I will block your each and every security which is there in your computer. And your computer will go permanently shut down.
We've had our eyes on this active center targeting Canadians for months.
It's amazing to think it's right here.
We've been warned that the call center is heavily monitored by security guards with a history of using violence. Still, there's a narrow window for us to go in and see if the center is still scamming.
Right here. This is the one we've been watching for.
The company whose name is at this address says this is a legitimate operation. But we know some of the people inside are running a scam.
Why do you have a call center here? Why do you do this illegally?
We want to talk to the top bosses.
There are real victims. Real victims. These are real people who cannot afford to lose this money. You're taking it from them.
But no one here wants to talk to us. At least while we're here, they're off the phones.
Anyone want to say anything?
And the calls stop for now.
Nobody. Okay. Do you have anything you'd say? No? Okay.
We have to get out fast, but we're taking our findings to Washington State. That's where tech giant Microsoft has been fighting these call centers for years. This is their command center. In just the past year, clues unearthed here have led to multiple raids.
30 call centers raided, 69 arrested in 6 months in India. All credit to the Indian law enforcement. We know actions taking place in Canada and the UK and the US. That helps get at the money flow, but we need to make sure that we are tackling this for the sophisticated criminal network it is.
Courtney Gregoire, Chief Digital Safety Officer, leads Microsoft's Secure Digital Crimes Unit. How big is this?
We are seeing losses in the hundreds of millions and billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars.
When you look at globally. Let me just give you one statistic. We go out last year and we went to a survey in 12 different countries around the globe. We found that 2 out of 3 people said that they'd had an experience with a tech support scam. 2 out of 3.
That says something about just how big this is.
It does. It truly does. And the reality is, if you're thinking about this at an individual consumer level, you're losing $200 or $500 here. But those numbers are chalking up. And the network behind it is truly criminal in nature and international in nature.
You've seen the aftermath of what these places look like once raids have gone through. Have you ever seen one in operation?
I have not been present for an operation.
Would you like to?
I would love to.
Okay. We have video from inside an operation that is running right now.
That is the reason I'm calling you, sir. I do know you are too old and you are not a savvy of a computer. That is the reason I'm calling you.
Looking at this script, right? It's preying on the consumer's fear of technology.
Yeah. This is something you've heard before.
Yeah.
Now I will remove your IP address. I will block your each and every security which is there in your computer. And your computer will go permanently shut down. All right?
Quite the serious threat.
To see inside and know that it's happening, that in some cases they're using your company name to do it, you must get mad.
You do. It really brings together the commitment. It's why our team is so focused on tackling this scam. We're mad, but we just don't sit mad. We want to take action and go on the offensive and address these critical issues.
This is your marketplace. In India, authorities are struggling to stop a devious scam. Fake tech support, costing victims in Canada millions of dollars. Back in Canada, Nahi Thilipos says both countries need to work together so people like her don't have to pay the price.
Who should be trying to stop these guys?
Why don't the authorities in Canada and India cooperate together? I don't know how they could stop it, but authorities should do something together of those countries and our country as well.
We know the RCMP and Indian police can take action. We've seen it in the past, but those calls keep coming. So what are they doing now to stop the scammers once and for all? Superintendent David Common, good to meet you.
Hi, Dave. Nice to meet you.
We meet up with the head of the RCMP's Financial Crimes Unit, Superintendent Peter Payne. What can you tell me is being done right now to help combat that tech support scam?
We're collaborating with our partners, the Indian authorities, other Five Eyes partners, which include the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand on the periphery. We have constant meetings with the Indian authorities over there talking about not just the tech scams in general, but all these scams.
You talk about the kinds of places you want to shut down. We were actually able to get inside one of them, and I'd like to show you some video of that.
Good.
Okay, let's take a look here.
I will block your each and every security which is there in your computer, and your computer will go permanently shut down.
What does it say that we were able to get inside a call center like this, to get right inside of it, but there aren't raids going on against a place like that by RCMP or Indian police?
Yeah, no, I applaud your efforts for getting in there, but once again, police alone cannot solve this issue. There's lots of call centers over there.
What are the kinds of things that you think of when you hear that? Because on the other line, the thing we're not seeing are Canadians, are people being scammed.
It makes me mad. We've all received these calls. My best advice is to hang up. Don't feel threatened. They can get aggressive. Hang up, call the Canadian Anti-Fraud Center, call your local police agency, report it.
Unfortunately, there are still people who are being scammed, and they want the RCMP, they want federal authorities, they want the Indian police together shutting these guys down. And they wonder why that hasn't happened yet.
We have jurisdictional issues, so it's not as simple as us going over there and making the arrests, effecting the investigations. We need the cooperation of local authorities, which we have. It's ongoing.
You think you're making headway?
We are. We're making headway in this, yes.
And yet still people are getting phone calls, are still facing this and are being defrauded.
Totally. We can't stop everything. So disruption, law enforcement alone can't conquer this issue. It gets back to public awareness, education. So the more aware they are of this, the more they talk to people, the more it gets out in front of them, whether it's like shows like yours or the media, that helps the public.
What do you say to the scammers who are over there who think they're unstoppable?
We're not giving up this battle. We talk about vulnerable people losing their life savings and losing money. The police are serious about it.
If there are limits to what the authorities can accomplish, this guy is determined to find another way. So you're scamming the scammers?
Pretty much. Out of their time, yes.
His name is Kit Boga, and he's a scam baiter. He actually calls the fraudsters and wastes their time so they can't waste yours. Why do you do it?
When I first started, I, in a way, was thinking of my grandmother. I knew that if they called her and she was still alive, that she would have fallen for it. And I felt like I wanted to do something about it.
His videos on both YouTube and gaming site Twitch have generated over 65 million views.
Oh, no, I have a wig.
Okay.
I always hide myself for a second to keep the immersion.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, yes, look at that.
And then, of course, I have the grandmother voice. And this one, I can get away with anything when I talk to the scammers, which is both hilarious and sad.
So let's play an example here and we can both watch.
You just lied to me the entire time, didn't you? I bet you don't even know how to remove all of these errors and warnings.
Type in your password, the level, which level technician you are.
Oh, my level's over 9,000. Okay, do you want me to be completely honest?
I called you 54 minutes ago, and I knew ahead of time that this was a tech support scam. But I figured, you know what, I'll just hope for the best. Like, we'll see what happens, you know. Maybe they won't scam me.
You're like a one-man warrior to take on the criminals, and it's working.
It is really neat to see hundreds of people reaching out and saying I was able to stop my dad from being scammed, or my grandmother recognized one of the scripts from the video that you posted on YouTube. And it makes me smile to think that there's people who have not fallen for these scams because of it.
How long are you going to continue doing what you're doing?
I suppose as long as they're calling people, I'm going to keep calling them.
One solution that could keep the scammers away, at least for now.